So tonight I'll actually be talking about live templates and IntelliJ. So I have prepared for this. I spent about half an hour last night preparing some demo slides. Well, not really slides, but a sort of code example, and I'm going to try and make this as interactive as possible. So just before I start, this has no sponsorship by IntelliJ. I have no association with them. I just like their tooling. So that's why I'm talking about it. So hope you can all see that. I'm going to start off with a few quick polls. So poll one, who likes to develop smarter, efficiently, more lazily? Put your hand up. Which one of you, so who of you uses IntelliJ? So who knows what live templates are and has probably used them before? Okay. So one last one. Who doesn't know they're using live templates? It's quite an interesting mix. So you may notice some sort of code-generated suggestions whenever you're typing and developing code as part of IntelliJ. So what I'm going to talk about is sort of the whole. I'm just going to do like a quick demo on live templates, how you can use it to develop faster, and how to create your own ones. So for tonight, I have a quick class which I wrote within half an hour last night. And basically, I'm going to delete stuff and rewrite it. Live templates are quite comprehensive, so there's a bunch of stuff for it. And, you know, you do JavaDoc. One of the simple things you can do is add links and things like that. Instead of having to type out something like this, C-link live templates demo, which is this class, you can actually do C-link. And that will generate a like a JavaDoc link comment for you, and you can fill it in. So this is obviously a lot faster and a lot less tedious than doing it yourself. Some of the really other cool ones are const. So if you want to define a new constant, I'll just nuke this one. You can just type in const, and these are all sort of scope, and it's contextual. So you can define one, and you can say my int, and that's really bad. And it will automatically generate naming, and it will put in a default value for you. So, there's also a bunch of other ones, and this is probably something you're going to see while you're typing. So here you can generate something like a singleton. So instead of having to type things out, you can use code generator. You could probably have another tool generated for you, but if you want to do it as part of IntelliJ, you can just go get I, and that will generate a quick singleton generator for you. But if we have a singleton that isn't initialized, and you don't have your instance initialized, you can actually notice that you can sort of generate your initializer for you too. So quite often when you're typing, you might not write an if block, something like that. So you can actually just say something like instance, and then if you type a dot, you can put a null at the end, and that will generate an if and fill in and format it for you, so you can create an instance. Now that's pretty simple. I also use Timber for logging because I'm an Android developer, so this is based on some of the logging stuff that Android does, but I've copied it across, customized it to log with Timber. So your typical syntax for this would be Timber log, Timber debug logging, that kind of thing. You want to do it manually, but in this case, I can do tlog d for debug, wtf, which doesn't want to cooperate, and it'll do different types of logging for you. Yeah. Another quickie. Who likes writing for loops a lot? No hands. That's perfect. This applies for both string, just any type of arrays as well as collections. So instead of having to write something like an optimized for loop, you can just go string and then for, and you have a loop generated for you, and you can do something simple like printing it out. So system out print line, you can type in this out, and it will fill it in. So now, sort of moving into how you can build these yourselves. If you hop into your settings, and I hope this is big enough, there's a neat little section here called Live Templates. And this allows you to have a look what's available for you, as well as customize and add and make your own, as well as copy. So when I'm creating these live templates, I tend to have a look what's available and modify them as I need. So one of the ones which I typically use is generating a lazy loading method. So just as part of that, I have a lazy attribute thing. And what this does is it creates a variable, it types it, and it automatically generates a setter for it. I mean, a getter for it. Yeah, so as part of it, you can actually create live templates just by whacking the plus icon, and you can associate it with the group just for organizing things, and then hit new live template. When you're typing, you can assign an abbreviation, so if you want to write something like log something, it will associate that with your live template, and you can create. So I'm just going to have a look at this lazy attribute one. So you can fill in your own variables. They're sort of...
I don't think people are back.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so they're sort of delimited by these dollar signs, and you can define them, and you can just sort of fill it in as you require. And if you need to provide something more, like automatically filling in things like the method name that you've got now, if you want to do something like logging, you can go into edit variables, and you can put in a bunch of Groovy, or you can just fill in stuff, which is very useful. So you can generate a lazy getter just by doing lazy attribute and say my integer, that's probably bad, and it will fill it in for you. Something which we also typically do is do builders, and I know I'm very lazy with builders. So as part of Android app development, we write UI tests, and something which we tend to do is mock API responses to it. But in this case, I've just got a simple builder, and every time I consume it, I don't want to have to type a bunch of stuff for it. So that's kind of useless to me. It takes a lot of time to consume and write. So I've just created a quick, simple demo builder live template, and just by typing it, it fills it out, shows you the live template, and then you can start filling in even constructor parameters. You can fill in methods. All you have to do is really type it out. So demo, and then you can fill in the blanks if you have certain values that you don't want to set every single time, or if you actually want to fill them in, you can say false or whatever you type. And you can even do this with methods, so you can provide defaults. So another value is value. Just in terms of customizing this, you can go back to the live templates section, and in my handily named demo section, I have a demo builder, and basically I set up the variables as I would like if I was building another live template. But one sort of caveat with it is that if you want to provide default values, you can, but you have to sort of escape and quote it wherever possible. So something like the method there, which it filled in for me, you have to put quotes around it. Yeah. And you can just keep chucking out code. Yeah. Well, that was the end of my talk. No, that actually was the end of my talk. So it's sort of a really quick introduction. It should give you a very basic understanding of live templates and where you can use them, but it should get you on your way to writing quicker code, I hope, and also setting up your own live templates. Are there any questions? Yeah.
Was there anything you wanted to do with them that you couldn't?
So far in my use cases, I'm doing really simple stuff right now. There are some limitations sometimes, but usually you can, for example, if you want to log a method and its parameters, you can write a bit of Groovy script, and there's a sort of like a small API as part of the IntelliJ live templates that you can use. So if the projector would have popped up, I would have shown you a bit more of that, but you can customize the output of what it fills into the variables as you need it, and it should hopefully help you out. But otherwise, just, yeah. Anything else?
Can you just share the templates with others?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if, again, projector issues, but you can actually go File, Export, and there's a little checkbox for exporting live templates. Also, if you put your configuration on a configuration server, you can share it with your group, and you can share it that way, yeah. Anything else?
When do we see configuration servers? Is that something the team necessarily?
Yeah, I think so. So just in my work application, we just have like a common repo which has a bunch of stuff as part of app development, and we just share and update it there. And anytime we need to update it, we just import it into our IDEs if we have an updated version of it, and just let people know. I haven't really bothered with setting up a configuration server, but you can do that. Yeah. Anything else? I think I'm going to call it at that.
Thanks, Annie.
Yay. Wow, it's gone purple. So I might call up our second speaker for tonight. So if everyone could give me a round of applause while we get Alistair up, he'll be talking about rendering React on JVM.